Hi, my name's Paige. Welcome to my channel. So I've been meaning to do a book unhaul for a very long time, probably like 6 months at least. And I started the process of filming it a few months ago, and I took my best friend to a couple of little free libraries around Arizona, and I filmed a little bit of it, but I was pretty unsuccessful in what I found in those libraries. So I've been meaning to try it again, and I was going to go out to where my other best friend had just recently purchased a house because it's a really cute neighborhood. But I asked my mom if maybe tomorrow she wants to go to some that are around me. I found the correct website to find more because what I was using before only showed me like 5 or 6 in all of Arizona, and that was so confusing to me because I assumed that there would be way more. So I finally found an entire map full of them around where I'm living, so me and my mom are going to go and try and find some good books around my neighborhood and a couple neighborhoods over. So I'm really excited to get to that, but I do need to unhaul all of these books first, and I want to actually share what I'm unhauling and tell some reasons why. Also, it is Arizona and about 110 so degrees even at nighttime, so my air conditioning is on. I will try and eliminate as much background noise as I can, but if you hear that, that is just me trying not to sweat to death. But I will show what I had done before. I think I unhauled a couple of books there that you might see again in this pile because I didn't end up putting them into some libraries, but there are some that did make it there. But unfortunately, I did not get anything, whoops, I did not get anything out of those libraries to haul, but it was still a pretty fun time. So I'll let you watch that, and then I will continue with this unhaul, which is kind of long, so hopefully this video isn't too long. All right, should I just list what I'm getting rid of?
Okay.
Okay. Fault in Our Stars, If I Stay and Where She Went by Gail Forman. Behind the Beautiful Forevers, I never even read this one.
But
Catcher in the Rye, is this a good one?
it's fine.
A Nicholas Sparks book because it's Nicholas Sparks. This James Patterson Sundays at Tiffany's, I think I remember liking it, but I don't know. Why is his face so big on the back?
I don't know, but I like that it's Tiffany blue.
Yeah, I don't even know if it had anything to do with actual Tiffany's.
Oh, just a happy coincidence?
It might have been. And then Peter and the Starcatcher, because my cousin gave this to me and I'm never going to read this. Can't even see. It's cute. I'm going to try and keep this pretty quick, so let's just start off with what's at the top. We have the entire Divergent series, and I am basically unhauling this because I know I'll never read it again, and I also really hated that I had different types of copies of these. Having a paperback and then hardcover always bothered me, but somebody will hopefully like to read these all and they will all be together, so we will see. I guess let's go with these because they are next. So I'm going to be unhauling my Lady Jane and my Plain Jane, which I think the authors call themselves the Ladies Janies, but I did like these. I just don't think I'll ever read them again. They were cute, they were fun, they were quick reads. I listened along to them on audiobook and they were a fun time, but I just don't picture myself picking them back up again. And also with the different versions, I have a problem with that. I really don't like when one is paperback, one's hardcover, because I like all of my authors or all of the books in a series to sit together on my shelves, so it does bother me. I am one of those people. So I'm just going to take it off my shelves just so I don't have to look at it. But they were cute. I did enjoy both of them. They're like historical fiction retellings with like a paranormal twist on both of them. I've said it a few times on the channel, but I used to be a really big historical fiction fan, and I used to read a ton of Philippa Gregory. So I do have a couple of her books still on my shelves that I did really like, and those are like more memorable books for me. But these were ones that I either started and I just couldn't finish because I got bored, or in this case it was just a really bad book. So I'm going to get rid of these because I know I'm not going to read the ones that I kind of DNF'd, and I think I never even started The White Princess either. But yeah, they're all based on historical facts, but she definitely spins things around, makes it way more romantic and whatnot. But I do like her books, it's just not what I'm into anymore. I read this a couple of months ago, and I know a lot of people really love this one. It's I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson, and I did not like it. I really struggled with this story, and I think this is one of the stories that started me off in my dislike towards YA contemporary right now. It just made me feel so old, and I just felt so disconnected to the characters because of that age difference right now, and I think that I'll get over it eventually, but currently I just am not enjoying YA books with a lot of drama and characters who just don't make choices that I would make as well. So this is one that I just need to pass along. Somebody else will like it because I know so many other people do like this one. It just wasn't for me. This is another series that has mismatched books, 2 in paperback, 1 in hardcover, but it is The Summer We Turned Pretty series by Jenny Han. I read this in, I want to say, high school, maybe even 8th grade or so, but I distinctly remember my aunt and uncle buying me this so that I could read it one summer, and I really did like them at the time. I don't think I would enjoy them now, again with the whole me not really wanting to read YA so much right now, but I still kind of just love how pretty they are. They are very pretty white books, and they're like really aesthetic, so part of me has just been holding on to them for that reason. But it's a young teenage love story that I don't think I'm going to want to read again, so I think I do need to finally pass this along. I feel like I need to start speeding this up. So we have Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia. I read it. It was one of the most unmemorable stories that I have read. I don't know what kind of headspace I was in, but I just don't remember anything about it besides her writing fan fiction. And I even think that in this book there are parts of the fan fiction that are in here, maybe even snippets of the story or something, and I skipped over all of them because I was not interested in what was going on in this one. But so many people loved it, and I wanted to give it a chance, and it just didn't work for me, so somebody else can now have this. Then we have Beverly Jenkins Joel. It was okay. I didn't love it, so I think that I can just pass this along. Perks of Being a Wallflower. I did not like this one. I just, no, it wasn't for me. The Bride Test by Helen Huang. I did like this one, but I didn't think it was great. I felt like the drama in it was just a little too much for me, and I just remember thinking that it wasn't my favorite, but it was cute enough. So I don't really want to hold on to a book that I just think is cute enough, so somebody else will enjoy it. Call Me By Your Name. It was fine. I have reflected on it more and more, and I like it less and less the more I think about it, but at the time it was a fine story to read. I didn't love it, but I'm not gonna read this again because it has definitely gotten creepier and creepier the more I think about it. Full Disclosure by Cameron Garrett. It is one of the prettiest covers I've ever seen, but the story was fine. Just again, YA contemporary that I'm not fully into anymore. Legend by Marie Lu. I think this is one of the only books I gave like 1 or 2 stars. I just didn't like this one. Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. I didn't have a bad time reading this one. It was pretty fun, but the mystery doesn't get solved in book 1. You have to like buy multiple books to figure out this mystery, and I wasn't gonna do that. I didn't like it that much. So I looked up the rest of it on Wikipedia. Recently I went through all of my books on my TBR cards and took off books that I was no longer interested in, and these are some of the ones that I have officially decided to unhaul for now. Misery by Stephen King, The Joy Luck Club by Amy Tan, Atonement by Ian McEwan, Most Likely by Sarah Watson, The Woman in the Window by AJ Finn, The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. Alright, we also have Bringing Down the Duke by Evie Dunmore. Again, it was a fine romance. I didn't mind it, but I know I'm not going to read it again or carry on with the series. Young Honeymooners by Christina Lauren. I'm not going to read this again. I don't really like Christina Lauren's books that I have read. Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. I really liked this book. I thought it was so good, but I know I'm not going to read it again just because I'm not big on rereading mysteries or thrillers because I already know what happens. So I think that this can just be passed along. So I've had this book for over 5 years and have never picked it up, but it is City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. I have decided that I'm just not going to even bother trying to read this series. I think it's going to be too much of a commitment, and I am just not really interested in that series at all anymore. Then we have More Than This by Patrick Ness. It was a very strange book, and I don't think it worked for me. Okay, so now for my last 4 books. I feel like I can't fully get rid of them, and I probably might just end up holding on to them just because, But we have Rainbow Row's Carry On and Wayward Son, which I actually don't really like this book. I hated how many point of views there were, and I did not think that the main couple were very great. I wasn't really rooting for them, but I did end up liking Wayward Son better. I just am really annoyed that there is a height difference in these books. I specifically bought this in paperback so that it would match, and it's a completely different size. And it bothers me so much. And I don't really know if I'm going to continue on with the series, since I do have so many problems with the constant point of view switches and the like dramatic cliffhangers at the end of every single one of these constant switches. So I don't know if I want to hold on to them. I'm not in love with the series, but so many people are that I don't want to miss out on reading them. I don't know. This is a me problem, but we will figure out if I'm actually going to unhaul these tomorrow. And lastly, we have my least favorite books ever. We have Autobiography by Christina Lauren and The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. So I kind of want to hold on to these just because I hate them so bad, and I want to maybe someday reread them and see if I can give them their fair shot. But I also don't want to look at them because they just make me so angry. So maybe I'll just send them to my mother's house and then let her hold on to them so I don't have to see them, and someday maybe I will read them again. I don't know. But The Hating Game does have a lot of highlights of every problematic moment I found in it, so I don't know if anyone's going to want a highlighted version of this, but those are all of my books that I am going to be unhauling tomorrow. We will see how many I actually end up giving out to the free libraries. I might end up with a few, or maybe my mom will take some off my hands, but that is all that I have for those. Now you can go see my library adventures, and at the end of this I will tell you what I hauled, if I hauled anything, and how this experience was. that was a long day. Me and my mom, I think, spent 4 hours driving to, I think I counted 23 different libraries. Not all of them are great, but some of them were so cute, and it was just really fun to just drive around and see what neighborhoods look like around here. I don't know, we had a really fun time, and we didn't want to stop, but eventually we just started to get so tired, so we found that one at the end that looks like a wine barrel maybe, and we thought that was so cute, we're gonna leave it at that, and we put our last books in there even though we didn't find anything. I have a pretty decent haul. I was being very selective with what I had because my TBR is already so big. I didn't want to just grab everything that I thought looked kind of good, so there are a few that I picked up because I thought they were kind of funny, but I will also show you what my mom got. She didn't really want to be on camera, so I just filmed on my carpet. Sorry, it's a little dirty, I should have vacuumed. But these are all of the ones that my mom picked up. I don't know, some of them looked really good, some of them I talked her into because I'd heard that they're good, and I felt like they would be something that she would like. Oh my goodness,
this was definitely mine. This was mine. I'll probably never read that one, but that was mine.
And I also give you this one. We had a pretty fun time, and we are excited to go again, but now we know that we have to read a lot of books and unhaul the ones that we don't want. But these are the ones that I got. I don't know how many there are. There were some that I felt like I couldn't pass up. Maybe they weren't the edition that I wanted, but I had to grab them anyway just so that I have them. So I'm just gonna jump right in. These are in no particular order. So I picked up The Light Between Oceans by M.L. Stedman. The description on it sounds very interesting. There's a man and his wife who live near a lighthouse, and this woman hears a cry and finds a dead man and a baby in a boat, and she wants to keep it. And it just sounded kind of interesting. So not sure how I would feel. I've never heard about it before. If you've heard of it, is it good? Is it not? Let me know. For any of these, if they're not actually good and you think I should just trash them, let me know and I can take them to another library someday. But yeah, this was the first one. I thought it sounded kind of interesting. Next I'm pulling is Sophie Kinsella's I've Got Your Number, and it looks like a woman loses her phone and she finds another man's phone, and they're kind of chatting back and forth in that, and it seems like it could be a romance, but I'm not really sure. I assume it's a romance. It looks romancy. Then this one was a pretty big find. The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. It's actually in pretty decent condition too, and figured I haven't read anything in the Mistborn trilogy yet, and I eventually assume I will want to get to this series, so I went ahead and grabbed it. I don't think I would love to read it in this paperback form, but if it's all I can get, I know that the hardcover of this is really expensive, so it's there. It was a really cool find, and if I don't end up reading this version, maybe somebody in my family will, but I was excited about that. I got this solely because the author's name is Paige, and I never see my name anywhere, especially with authors, and it sounds kind of interesting. It sounds like a werewolf love story, so I thought it would be kind of silly and fun to read. Then I found this Anne of Green Gables. I really liked this edition of it. I thought it was very sleek and interesting. I've never read this book before either, so I'm excited about this one. Wow, I look hot and sweaty. It was 115 degrees. I recorded a little snippet to prove how hot it was outside today. It was a little breezy though, so it wasn't as terrible, but my mom got sunburned and we were just in and out of the car a few times and she got sunburned. So then I found this really nice edition of The Black Flamingo. It has its dust jacket and everything. It's not even like warped or anything, so it's a really good copy, and this has been on my radar for a really long time. A lot of people have said it's super good, so I'm excited. I was so excited when I saw this one. I don't know anything about this book, but it sounded pretty interesting, about a woman who sees the news about somebody who's gone missing and she believes that she knows who that is, and it just seems kind of thriller-ish. I don't know. Is this a good one? Behind the Red Door by Megan Collins. Let me know if it's a good one or if it's not, and if I should read this. I also found a hardcover with the dust jacket intact version of Educated by Tara Westover. I've heard great things about this. I don't think I know very much about it, but I decided to go ahead and grab it just to see what it's about. And the last book I grabbed, not really sure why, it just seemed kind of interesting, about emotional intelligence. It's very small. It's by Gil Hassan, and it just seems to be a book to talk about how to be more assertive and manage anxiety and other things. So I figured this could be a very interesting thing to read about every now and then, read a little bit here and there. So yeah, those are all of the books that I got. I feel like I did pretty decent. So of 20 plus libraries, I found all of these and I'm really excited about them. I'm glad that my TBR is not going to be overwhelming. I was a little worried that I was going to find a bunch of books that I liked, but I am glad that I finally have all of the books that I wanted to unhaul out of my room. I have more space now and I had a really fun time. So I definitely recommend doing a little library tour adventure in your neighborhoods if you have them. It was super fun to do. But I am exhausted. I need to go sit on my couch and cool down and drink a ton of water because, oh, that was a day. But thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you like this video, and I should have something out pretty soon this week, I think, and I will talk to you later. All right, bye.